My name is Shrinu Madula. I was born in Andhra Pradesh, India, and this is my story. When I was first born in southern India, I was born basically close to blind. There's really no other way of putting it. It's called hazy cornea, meaning my eyes were basically cloudy. So if my condition persisted the way it was, then I would be permanently blind for the rest of my life. If you were blind in India or any third world country, you're pretty much out of luck because there's no services, there aren't any really basic services to help the blind or the disabled. You no longer become a part of the family, but you rather become a burden on the family. And pretty much nothing. You're going to be close to nothing. You are nothing. So it has a much greater impact in a third world country than it does in America. And yeah, being blind is basically like being not there. I met Dr. Raju out of chance, actually. We knew with me personally that there was something wrong about 8 months of age, and we would go from one doctor to another doctor to another doctor, and no one could really figure out what's wrong with me. Somehow I got hooked up with Dr. Raju, who instantaneously found out that I have a congenital disease, basically in layman's term put, hazy cornea. And he said that he could operate on me, but it had to be done at a very young age or I would be permanently blind. And he said he'd be willing to do it, and he would do it for free because I come from a very poor family, and he would do it at no cost with his own time, with his own money, with his own everything, through his foundation. And what he's done for me has personally brought me back from the brink of blindness, literally, and shone a light into my life and brought me to where I am right now at 26 years of age. To know that you can be saved, but that there's a financial cost to it, or that there's a complete block from you getting the access that you need, is pretty bittersweet, because the sweet part is that it can be fixed. The bitter part is you might not be able to afford it, and I could not. And if it weren't for people like him, I wouldn't be here talking to people like you. And I think that's what he does. He breaks the barrier between that bittersweet to make it all good, to make it perfect, to bring access to people like me who didn't have access, so that I can go and explain to other people what our charity or what we can do to bring access to everybody. Because there should never be a kid who could be saved but can't because of financial constraint or any kind of barrier for that matter. And I think that's what Dr. Raju does. He breaks down barriers so kids can be kids and be normal and get their vision back.
Srinu came to one of the camps, and he needed corneal transplant because his corneas, the front window of the eye, completely opaque, or it's not transparent. So light doesn't enter and he won't be able to see. So he needed corneal transplants. He was about just less than 2 years at that time. And at that time, corneal transplantation was not very well done in India, and even in this country almost 25 years ago. It's not the state of art like today. So he had some relations here, and we asked him to come to United States. Came to Morgantown of all the places, not San Francisco, not New York, Morgantown. So we did it here, and that is the rest of it, you know. Childhood blindness, if it is because of the accessibility and affordability, if the child could not afford, he will be permanently blind. He has a problem to himself, to the family, and the society as a whole. Whereas in time, when the childhood blindness is treated, that's it, we gave him a 75 years of productive life. Avoidable blindness, if you can reach these children early and do the right surgery or treatment, it is the most cost-effective health intervention in the world. 80% of our learning is through vision. And if the child cannot learn, that's his burden to himself, the society, family.
I think one of the most important things that we're doing right now is really improving the education of physicians around the world. There's the old adage that you can give a man a fish, feed him for a day, or teach a man to fish, you feed him for life, and I should probably say feed her for life. But because the number of doctors that are coming from different countries, many of them women, has been really impressive because they're coming to Gautami and they're learning these techniques that they might not have otherwise had access to, and can go back and teach others. And obviously education is something that will propagate for years.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come to visit. This is a remarkable operation you have going here in more ways than one. It's a remarkable operation to be able to provide such cost-effective care to both people who can pay, but also for the poor. And we're seeing this beautiful surgery performed today, and with a beautiful economy of motion, just such tremendous surgical skill and confidence benefit these patients. And it's a real it's something that all surgeons throughout the world should see. It's just a great model of care delivery in a way to really dramatically improve people's lives. So I congratulate you on the quality of this facility and the operation and the people that are working here and serving the patients here in Rajahmundry. So it's a great pleasure to be here, and I've learned a lot and seen really great examples of how you're able to provide the beneficial effects of cataract surgery for a small fraction of the cost of that benefit in my own country. So it's really a model that many countries around the world should, I think, study and emulate as much as possible in their societies and their healthcare systems. So thank you so much for the opportunity to visit.
We're attacking preventable blindness on many fronts, including treating children, which it's the majority of their learning occurs through their vision, as well as teaching others to be able to do the same thing. So we are not counting on one project ever to solve the problem, but hitting it from many fronts. And even a small amount of money, whether it be for a vitamin A capsule that literally costs $1 to give vitamin A to a child for a whole year, or for a surgery that could mean they suddenly go from what's considered a blind school to the regular school where they can become a doctor or a pharmacist. A small amount of money makes a great impact when you're talking about eye care. A lot of things impress you when you go to an area that doesn't have the kind of health care that you're able to deliver on a daily basis in the United States, and even one case can make a huge difference. So I always think about what will happen if I couldn't see something the next day, and think about what it would mean to me if someone actually contributed to prevent that from happening to me. One of our biggest projects right now is the beginning of construction of an environmentally friendly eye hospital in southern India in Rajahmundry, where Gautami Eye Hospital presently is. A big focus of it is going to be children's eye care, and this is just the first step in a very extensive project that is going to continue throughout the years, because this will be something that the Eye Foundation and the doctors that we work with now are going to be able to sustain into the future.
What would I offer Dr. Raju? I know him well enough that the best way I can thank him is to help another fellow human being. The best way I can thank him is to follow in his footsteps and do what he does and help his foundation and help him and help the charity. There's days when I wake up and I walk to my pharmacy and I'm like, wow, look at where I've come, look at what I've done. You know, I graduated college, I went to pharmacy school, I got a doctorate in pharmacy. I now at 26 own a multi-million-dollar business. But all of this and anything that comes from this is all because of Dr. Raju and his Eye Foundation. Because without that, I wouldn't be here. Without that, I am blind. And It's a great feeling to wake up to know that somebody else can give you this opportunity, and then you not only take that opportunity, but you expand from that and make something more of it and make it big and make it grow. And at 26, if I can do this, maybe at 56, I can have 20 other people that do this, and we can save another 1,000 people to become even better than me and become better than everybody else that's around us right now.
I think a foundation is very secure, and others getting interested after so many years is a blessing for the foundation. After 32 years of the iFoundation's work, I sincerely believe it is just beginning.